in general, and there's a lot happening in relative short order. There's a lot of different articles in different newspapers. What are your thoughts on AI, which is emerging pretty quickly?
Well, I mean, we've heard the one thing that somebody did, and I know people have put in. We talked and laughed about it. That how much information you would have to put in just to get that come out. I don't I don't believe the AI voices that I've heard. I think they almost got Uncle Dave, but they didn't get me very well in the clip that we listened to. And honestly, you can see that when they say generate an AI interview or whatever from somebody, that is just kind of shit that has been compiled by some computer brain that, from previous interviews that they've said. It wouldn't fool me, I don't believe yet. But at the same time, there's a lot of stupid people out there that have been fooled by lesser shit and continue to be already. And it's apparently getting pretty good pretty quick. So one would have to think that sooner or later they're going to be able to come up with video that you can't really see through. And then that could be a problem because then you've got well known people from all over the world in any walk of life on video saying and doing shit they really didn't say and do. And well, that could just be confusing.
But you're thinking about just deep fakes and that's a whole side thing. There's been a lot of articles, like here's one from the New York Post yesterday. The godfather of AI says its threat is more urgent to humanity than climate change.
Okay.
A prominent artificial intelligence pioneer, widely known as the godfather of AI, warned Monday that the burgeoning technology is a more urgent risk to humanity than the effects of climate change. Dr. Jeffrey Hinton, 75, flagged the danger days ahead of revealing he quit his part-time role assisting Google's AI development last month so he could speak more freely about it without disparaging the company's efforts in the sector. I'm trying to see what, let me scroll
Well,
down
what
a
does
little
he
bit.
say exactly is the thing we got to keep an eye on? I'd like to be forewarned about this.
I'm in the camp that thinks this is an existential risk, and it's close enough that we ought to be working very hard right now and putting a lot of resources into figuring out what we can do about it. Trying to see where he says what the...
See, I'll tell you one effect it's having on me. I mentioned the other day that we took Stacy's car to get service for a recall. Remember, I've always said, when I get to 300,000 miles on Black Beauty, I'm going to buy a new one and be done with it. Well, I have only driven that vehicle in the last 16 years, and I have not driven any other vehicles. And now that I see what the inside of some of the new ones look like, with all the computer shit and the guy, they don't have a GPS map in her vehicle like I've got. It's like looking at a Rand McNally road atlas, and you go, "Oh, I'll turn right there." It has the roads and everything. It's a very handy feature. Hers is goddamn animated, and it moves and turns, and you go up over the horizon, and it's like you're in the middle of a goddamn video game. I'm staring at that. I'm not paying attention to the fucking traffic. It's got cameras everywhere. I've got a little thing that beeps, beeps, beeps on Black Beauty when I back up so I don't bump into anything because it's a big vehicle. She's got a camera that shows what the fucking car looks like from the sky. It's on the screen that's as big as the first television set that I owned when I was a child. It's very disorienting. And you can hook up to all this shit and download all this shit and press buttons on the screen. I don't want to be able to download the entire contents of the Library of Congress to read on my trip. I just want to fucking goddamn know where I'm going and have nice big all-weather tires and some heaviness. So I've got and four-wheel drive, safety features, all this other shit. I'm not going to be able to work whatever I get. What were we talking about?
We're talking about AI, and here I have something from this article. Critics have argued that unregulated AI could fuel the spread of misinformation, cause major losses in the job market, and provide bad actors with a new tool to wreak havoc in society. Earlier this month, Hinton admitted that he now partly regrets his life's work due to the potential risks. He expressed a fear that advanced AI would eventually grow out of the control of humans as systems develop an ability to create and run their own computer code. He cited the possibility of AI-powered weapon systems as just one scary possibility.
Yeesh. Well, I'm glad I'm in my early 60s. Because by the time they figure this shit out, it won't really matter to me anyway.
Well, one last thing on AI, I have ChatGPT up. Is there anything you'd like to test out? Anything you'd like to generate? And not in terms of image, in terms of actual text.
Yes, a plot for the best way to kidnap and dispose of Shitstain.
I think that I will get in trouble if I put that in this search engine. Anything else you could think of?
What about the original recipe for Colonel Sanders' Kentucky Fried Chicken?
What is the original recipe for Colonel Sanders' Kentucky Fried Chicken?
Because that is kept in a locked location in the basement of the KFC headquarters here in Louisville, Kentucky, and no one except the top 2 executives are allowed to know what the entire recipe is, to the extent that they even have their coating mixture made in different locations and then it's mixed together at the individual restaurant.
Hold on, let me try it this way.
Oh, see, I already got a problem.
I don't know what the hell's going on with this thing.
Apparently, the artificial intelligence is artificially intelligent.
It's artificially not doing shit. Hold on, let me refresh the page.
You broke AI. You broke chat. Go fuck yourself, or whatever it is.
Tell me about Colonel Sanders' original recipe.
Not extra crispy.
I'm just going to say original recipe. And I'm also going to take that P out of about. There we go. And it's just blinking. Oh, Colonel Sanders' original recipe refers to the secret blend of 11 herbs and spices used to make the world-famous fried chicken at KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken. The recipe was created by Harlan Sanders, who later became known as Colonel Sanders, in the 1930s. The exact recipe for the original blend of herbs and spices is a closely guarded secret and is only known to a few select individuals. However, it is widely believed that the recipe includes a combination of salt, black pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, thyme, basil, oregano, celery salt, paprika, and white pepper. The chicken is prepared by first marinating it in a buttermilk and egg mixture, then coating it in a blend of flour and the secret spice mix before frying it in hot oil until it was crispy and golden brown.
Well, that's fine. That's something any 8-year-old child walking the streets of Louisville, Kentucky could have told you. It didn't tell you, here's the lowdown, here's the information that nobody else knows, but I, with my mystical and technological and magical artificial intelligence, will disseminate that information to you that no human being is smart enough to be able to possess.
Let's try it this way.
That's what I wanted to hear.
Let's try it this way. Who would you like to hear? Who would you like this to generate a Jerry Lawler promo on?
Well, you can't just do that, can you? Unless you put in information.
Give me a name.
A Jerry Lawler promo on Bill Superstar Dundee. He did more of those than anybody else.
Generate a Jerry Lawler promo on network error. Regenerate response. Well, let me tell you something, folks. Bill Superstar Dundee thinks he's all that in a bag of chips. But I'm here to tell you...
You're just doing... That's not anything that thing is writing.
It's writing it, but I'm here to tell you that he's not even close to being in my league. He's just a little fish in a big pond. And when he steps into the ring with me, he's going to find out exactly what I'm talking about. I mean, come on, Dundee. You think you could take on the king? You think you could step into my ring and come out victorious? You've got another thing coming, my friend. I've been in this business for decades. And I've faced some of the toughest competitors in the world. But you, Dundee, you're nothing special. You're just another wrestler who thinks he can make a name for himself by taking on the king. Well, let me tell you something, Dundee. When you step into that ring with me, you're not just facing a wrestler, you're facing a legend. You're facing the greatest wrestler of all time. And when it is all said and done, you'll be lucky to even walk out of the ring. So bring your best, Dundee. Bring everything you've got. But just remember, you're not facing just any wrestler. You're facing the king. And when it's all said and done, you'll bow down to the one true ruler of wrestling.
Is it all said and done now?
That's all said and done.
Okay, that sounds nothing like anything that Jerry Lawler ever said to Bill Dundee. Well, I mean, what it is it's a standard generic wrestling promo. If you changed the names from Lawler and Dundee to anything else, the only identifying remark was we gave it Jerry the King Lawler, and it was all about being the king, but there was nothing there that would differentiate that from any heel wrestling promo talking about anybody, which is why you need human beings instead of computers, because that's what make things different.
Generate a Jim Cornette promo on, let me think, what could be good? Doesn't even have to be a wrestler. It could just be anything. On, well, I don't want
Bad weather.
On bad weather. Well, let me tell you something, folks. Bad weather is the bane of my existence. It's a menace to society, a scourge on the face of the earth. When it's hot, I'm sweating like a pig. When it's cold, I'm shivering like a leaf. When it's raining, I'm slipping and sliding all over the place. And when it's snowing, don't even get me started. I mean, come on, Mother Nature. What's your problem? Can't you get your act together? You're ruining my life. You're ruining my clothes, and you're ruining my hair. But let me tell you, when you mess with the hair, you're messing with the whole package. Hold on, I need a second.
If you mess with my hair, you're messing with my package.
But you know what, folks? I'm not one to back down from a challenge. I'm not going to let a little rain or snow or heat or cold get in my way. No, sir. I'm going to tough it out. I'm going to put on my big boy pants and deal with it. Because that's what separates the men from the boys, the champions from the losers, the Jim Cornettes from the rest of the world. We don't let a little bad weather get in our way. We fight through it. We persevere, excuse me. We persevere.
We preserve.
I thought it was going to be preserve. And we come out on top. So let the rain pour down, let the snow pile up, let the sun beat down on my bald head.
What?
I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it. I'm Jim Cornette, and nothing can stop me.
Why am I bald? Has it confused me with another Jim Cornette? I may have a little spot up there, but the most of it is covered. The fuck?
Let the sun beat down on my bald head.
Now even artificial intelligence is insulting me?
Oh, so that's an example of what AI can do right now.
Well, I'm not impressed.